coming to you live from my front porch. Welcome to podcast number 3, everybody. And by everybody, I mean the 8 subscribers, 4 of which are actually watching this, but here we are. Big shout out to my friend Gail. Hello, Gail. I'm dedicating this podcast to you because if it hadn't been for the comment you made to me yesterday, let me tell you, podcast number 2 is going to be the last podcast. And here's why. So, one of the cute things about me is that my hobby is starting new hobbies. And so, not only do I have a closet full of, hobby supplies that will never get used until I donate them and they get used by somebody else, but this whole podcast thing was the learning curve it is crazy. And so here's what happened. I did podcast number 1 and I filmed it wrong, and I was like, I'm going to publish it anyways. Lessons were learned. And then number 2 was my story of how I got hacked, which, again, not the first time that I am a cautionary tale. Probably won't be the last time, but here we are. And then I thought, girl, you need to write notes down. You need to leave yourself, like, what do you want to say? And so I did that. And I also had it in my head that I wanted to have this background of one of my bad ideas, like the activity going on in the background. And when I got to the venue, and I got really shy, and I was too shy to, see my dog in the background? There's Cooper. Anyways, I got so shy about setting up my podcast, like, not my podcast, sorry, my tripod. I was like, oh, okay. And so I didn't. I was like, doesn't feel right. It's not the right vibe. So I didn't set it up. And then I thought, well, that's okay. I'm going to Writers Guild. And so I'll set up my tripod outside of the church where Writers Guild is being held, and I can talk then. But guess which dummy left her notes at home? And I got 7 minutes into my 20-minute podcast and drew the mother of all blanks. Like, could not remember anything. And so as I'm sitting there blinking at my camera, I thought, wow, the entertainment value of this is negligible. And also, I'm really not good at this. And that's okay. I'm not good at a lot of things, but I do them anyways, and I forge ahead. It's just part of who I am and what I do. So then I was going to just let the week expire without having filmed anything, and I was just, that was episode 1, episode 2, and we're done. And then Gail sent me some feedback on podcast number 2, and I was like, all right, I guess I can do number 3. And so today, I don't have any bad ideas planned. I am in my very noisy front yard, sitting on my porch, which I love, and my distracting dog keeps going back and forth and kind of whimpering to me because he's like, Mom, it's time for a walk. I do have my notes. And I think I'm ready to go. Now, oh yeah, guess what? I'm so old I can't read my notes without my glasses, so give me a second while I check my notes. I probably need to come up with a better system, by the way. Okay. Yeah, one of the things that I have discovered about this podcast idea is that I come up with the best ideas when I'm nowhere near my phone or I'm driving and can't pull out my phone because that's against the law. I don't write them down, and then they're gone. They're just gone. They were brilliant, so the really brilliant ideas don't end up actually coming to you, but that's the way it goes. The other thing that I have discovered about podcasts is I'm 56 years old, right? And so I have 56-year-old things to say. The things that are relevant to me are relevant to other 56-year-old people, right? I've got I got grown children. I don't have little ones at home anymore. I have an empty nest. Sorry, that's just bragging for all the young moms out there. Yeah. And you know what? As a young mom, they say it goes so fast and you just want to punch them in the throat because you're like, how is this fast? And then you blink and they have moved out and are happy adults. And then you're like, shit, that was fast. I am so glad I didn't punch that old woman in the throat. So, yeah. But the thing is, I'm talking to 56-year-olds who don't watch podcasts. We don't. We don't. We don't. We come from a different time. This is not our media. This is not what we don't gravitate towards them. You know who turns to podcasts? 30-year-olds. 30-year-olds always have a podcast on the go. They're listening to them while they're working at home. They're quoting podcasts. They're following people and following them for years. And the thing is the 30-year-olds don't want to be listening to my 56-year-old voice. They don't. And so that probably explains the 8 subscribers, right? Could be the right message. It's just the total wrong way to reach my audience. So it is possible that podcast number 3 is going to be the final one. You never know. You never know. It could go in the closet full of started hobbies that never really went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's see. Writers Guild. Yeah. Guys, last week I went to a local writers guild, and it's not because I have aspirations of being an author, and it's not because I had any interest in, I just wanted to go and experience something new and to check out the vibe and see what it was about. I mean, life is for living, right? And so I'm big about sampling the entire life buffet, and Writers Guild came up, and I'm like, yeah, I want to go. And so I went, and it was lovely. It was really lovely. They they sent out a writing assignment, and they sent it out a couple of weeks before. And of course, I didn't see that email, or if I did, I glanced by it because I was busy doing other things, right? That weren't pressing and urgent. But the night before Writers Guild, I was like, oh, what address is that at? And so I went into my emails and I checked it out. And when I checked out where the address was, I also saw, and your writing assignment is, and I was like, oh shit, I got a writing assignment. So I pulled out my laptop and I started hammering out, and my husband's laughing at me. He's like, this is what you were like in high school, right? Doing your homework at the last second. I'm like, shut up, you don't even know me. And so I did it, one draft, and then I was tempted to go back and make some edits because you start thinking about it and you're like, oh, that could change. And I went, no, I'm going to go to the Writers Guild people with my first draft and let them rip it to shreds, and see what they have to say. And it was a trip. So we sit there, and the format is that we all take turns reading our assignment out loud, right? Makes sense? And then we critique one another's work, right? Again, this is nothing unusual there. If you do not wish to receive critique, if you just want to hear yourself talk and read your story, that is fine. People will honor that. And I was like, all right, let's hear what you got to say. And what's so fascinating, it was just a small group. It's summertime, right? Nobody's going to Writers Guild, but because they're all at the cottage, except for me, who's chasing down bad ideas. So, so there's this one lady there who's amazing. She's a former editor. And so she is very much about improving your writing, and you can only do that with constructive criticism. And her points are very, very valid and lovely. But she just looks for where the improvements are, and she's very like you can see it's a crossover from her editing life. She's not there to stroke anybody's ego. Lovely. The lady next to her is very, all of her critiques are very nice. They're very nice, and she very much will point out everything she likes about what is written, right? Just a different perspective. And I was looking at this woman, and I thought, well, she's probably like what, 10 years older than I am, and what a shame that she's. I wonder why she's walking with a cane, and she's, anyways, she was elegant. You know how some people have an elegance to them? Yeah, that was her. A little touch of a British accent just to add to the whole package, and dressed nice but not assuming, and just she was lovely, just lovely. Well, doesn't it come out in conversation in that Buddy's not 10 years older than I am? She's 35 years older than I was like, what? That's, wow, good for you. Yeah, you never could have told she was, yeah, absolutely beautiful woman. I'm happy that I got to meet her. There were two aspiring writers also there. Like I said, small group, lovely women. Um, Men are also part of this group. Didn't happen to be any men at this one. And yeah, the trippy part, guys, they liked what I wrote. Now I'm hooked. I'm going back. Yeah, I'm totally part of this writers guild. They liked what I wrote. And I thought that I'd missed the assignment. I was like, yeah, this isn't quite what they're looking for, but I gotta be me. And it turns out that being me was the right thing to do. Anyways, it was cool. Glad I went to Writers Guild. I know. I gotta find it. Maybe I'll write bigger on my thing. What do you think? Yeah. Um. Coming bad ideas. Drumming circle. I know I keep saying that, but one day, the first time it got rained out. I'm not going to drumming circle in a park in the rain. Like that just sounds miserable. And then the other time, oh, I got sick. Yeah, woke up with a migraine. I never had headaches, but are you hearing the background noise? I'm safe. Don't worry about it. Um, so yeah, so drumming circles coming up. Pole dancing is coming up. Gosh, I hope they don't offer me a job. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Nobody's offering me a job. I'm probably going to end up in a body cast, but whatever. It was introductory to pole dancing. The instructor's name is Derek. It's a lot. It's a lot. Then there's housewarming on the weekend, and then next week, next week is completely unscripted so far. I got a bunch of ideas, but nothing's been scheduled. So I'm gonna have to get going on that. The problem is my little side hustle. They just had their big yearly convention, and the week after their big yearly convention, they do something called Grow Week. And it's just like a lot of training and a lot of do this, and I'm completely saturated with that. And it's all stuff I want to do, right? Like it's all exciting. I'm gonna plug my little side hustle. I won't talk long, but I do want to plug my little side hustle, just because I'm talking to 50-year-olds who probably are not feeling as good as they did 30 years ago, right? So, okay, if I can figure out how to drop my before and afters, I'll do it right here. Okay, assuming that worked. Um, so, so yeah, that was me 45 pounds ago, a year ago. Um, yeah, dropped 45 pounds. I never hungry, didn't eliminate any food groups. I don't exercise. Ew. Um, and I follow this program. It's called nutritional cleansing. And so if you want more information, just like DM me and I'm happy to talk your ear off about nutritional cleansing. It has given me my life back. I move like I did when I was in my 20s. I my chronic hip pain has gone away. I see my eyelash. I didn't have eyelashes a year ago. I got eyelashes now. Regrew my hair. I like all of the things. All of the things. It's completely healed me from the inside. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. All right. Okay. So what else? See, I just got through all of my notes. 20 minutes is a long time to fill. Did you know that? You should try it sometime. You should try it sometime and then post a link to your podcast and I'll go listen to that. Um, let's see. If you wanted to follow me on Instagram, it's just Natalie Creamer. It's just my name, super not creative. I should probably come up with something more creative, but you just second guess yourself like crazy when you start, trying to come up with something clever, right? It's like it can never be clever enough. You start working it and reworking it and like overthinking it up the wazoo, right? So, oh yeah, yeah. Last thing I wanted to talk to you about. So, one of the fun things about ADHD is that I am always feeling bad about not being organized. Always. And so I keep purchasing new systems for getting organized, right? So this is my third organizer that I have purchased so far this year. And I was like, every time, I set it up and I just can't seem to maintain it. And here's what it is. It's one of those bullet journals, but I got the one which has the table of content at the beginning, right? Went to Michael's, picked up a bullet journal. And then I started, in my very ADHD manner thinking, oh, I should do a calendar. And then I was like, wow, that is busy and not super awesome. And then I started with my crappy handwriting, right? And I was like, wow, that is not beautiful. Why is that not beautiful? I'm not going to do this if it's not beautiful. Everybody else has bullet journals that is super beautiful. And then I thought, I don't even know why. I think I saw a targeted ad because, yeah, my phone listens to me just like your phone listens to you. Anyways, what I ended up doing is I went to the Amazon gods and I purchased a set of stencils, right? A set of stencils. Now, there's a lot of these stencils I am not going to use, but it has transformed my crappy little stuff that looks like this, right? Like pretty. Like it's pretty now. And so I think like even the podcast, right? I used a template. I used this template for my podcast. I know it probably won't make a difference long term, but I don't know. Like uh, I don't know. I think this might be the winning one, and the fact that the pages are already numbered for me, and so if there's something that I would keep referencing back to, like you know my passwords, which I'm always forgetting, then I can just, put them in the index and go, oh yeah, passwords are on page whatever they end up on. Is that secure to put my passwords in a paper binder with a big old label that says password? You know, it probably explains a lot as to why I got hacked, right? Although somebody did ask me for my email address today, and I was like, oh, I'm not falling for that again. And then immediately second guessed myself and was like, I wonder if that would be a problem. Would that be a problem? I don't know. anyways, I am super happy that podcast number 3 did go ahead and happen. I don't know if there'll ever be more than 8 subscribers, but this this has been lovely, and it's been nice spending some time with you. And there's Cooper in the background, right there. Do you see? He was back behind that window. Yeah, that was awkward. Yeah, so I'm just going to take Cooper for a walk right now, enjoy my day, and hope not to get injured at pole dancing.